Hey everyone, Jordan here of Postcard Pros. So I had a friend, Vlad, come to me and said, hey, I'm looking to possibly consider a postcard campaign. How would I go about it? What should I consider? How should I target? They're a Seattle-based SEO company. So I figured it'd be pretty helpful to go from A to Z, from just having some sort of an interest in postcards all the way to sending a campaign here on the video. Feel free to skip around. I'll provide some good timelines there in the video so you can follow along at your leisure. And feel free to subscribe, like, or comment if you have any suggestions here as you're watching, something that you saw that maybe is interesting to you. Let's get into it. All right, so in chatting with Vlad, he runs a company called Logic Inbound, and don't worry, I'll throw a screencast together so you can see the screen a little bit better. I asked him sort of who's your ideal customer, what's your ideal target. This is always the best place to start. You need to think about who you are targeting and really, really, really refine that. Don't think about the postcards or the marketing piece yet. Think about who is going to be receiving this postcard and how are they going to think about your offering. So he said a $5 million hire men's testosterone clinic would be great. So I don't know how many men's testosterone clinics there are. I mean, I obviously can't speak from personal experience. But he goes on and says an e-commerce client would be great, plumbing companies. And so I asked him, are you talking about like SMBs? He's like, yeah, but more medium, looking for folks that have a marketing budget. That's really important to him. VP of marketing or sort of a general manager and an owner, employees like 40 or more, sort of a mid-sized established company. And so then I asked him sort of, what are your benefits? Why there's a billion SEO companies? Why should someone go with you? And he's like, if you type in Seattle SEO, I'm the first result. So that's pretty clutch. Also, he's the number one for Washington. And so we talked a little about benefits, which is really, really important when you're talking to your customers. So I've got Zen ProspectUp, which is just a tool that I use to get a sense of what my targeting options look like. So let's plug in the prospect field. So we're going to start with titles. VP of marketing. We're VP of marketing, general manager. It's nice you can just type in titles here. So folks with VP of marketing or general manager, there's 400,000 people that match those two terms alone. So we're going to keep refining. One of the things that he said was important to him was that they're already spending money on Google AdWords, which means they probably have a marketing budget. You can indeed target folks who use specific technologies, which is really nice. So let's type in Google Maps, Google Trusted Source, Google Play. Wow, there's so much you can target by. So let's do Google AdWords conversion. Drastically narrowed the list. Now we have 28,000 people that meet our criteria that are VPs of marketing, general managers, and use Google AdWords on their site. Now let's do number of employees. We wanted to target sort of mid-size, so 21 to 51, 51 to 100, 101 to 200. Just a couple categories here. Now we're down to about 8,000. Location doesn't matter, even though they're in SEO. They are in SEO, but they're also in Seattle. So let's look at keywords. Industry, that's right. We want to target by industry. So automotive, hospitality. Didn't want to target real estate, retail. Probably not software. Those folks probably already have some SEO options. Construction, health, wellness, and fitness. So we're down to 2,700 companies. Let's see if there's anything else that he wanted to target by. Revenue and funding, great. So let's talk about a minimum revenue of 100,000. Let's save that filter. Oh, cancel. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this. Vlad. Let's do Vlad SEO. All right, so we've got a good list here. 2,700 people. Probably want to narrow it down a little bit further. We can also do, let's try Facebook conversion tracking. Wow, okay, that cut the list about in half. So people that are also using Facebook and Google AdWords, they probably have a good amount of money to spend on a marketing budget. Maybe let's up the annual revenue to 300,000. Let's get Vlad a little bit better of a deal. All right. Total annual revenue. Let's actually go even higher there. See if that's going to make a difference. Oh, okay. So that's not impacting the total number of folks here, which is interesting. All right. So we've got a pretty good. Maybe I would take out some industries. So let's remove. Looks like automotive has a. Yeah, let's actually just focus in on automotive. When I was chatting with Vlad, he said that he wanted to really narrow down on one particular industry so that he can do some really clear marketing to them. So we've got the VP. Let's expand this here so you can kind of see it. VP of Marketing Digital Integration at Meyer, Auto Canada, Toyota. So these look like some pretty Toyota Sunnyvale. We've got some pretty good leads here. So this is just a good to get an idea of what your target audience look like. I use a company called Steward. We buy leads from them. So they actually will do sales research for us. So I use this tool to sort of get an understanding of what my general size looks like of a possible campaign. And then I'll email, his name's Joe. It's the guy I work with, Joe at getsteward.com. Steward, Steward. I'll throw down a link in the bottom of the video here. So you can just work with him and he can provide the list of names and addresses, obviously important, and titles. So we have sort of an understanding. We got 740 people. The way that I would structure this postcard campaign is I'd send them 3 cards over the course of a month. So 700 times 3, so 2,100 cards generally. I'd also want to send 6 by 11 cards. They make the biggest impact. So now we're going to sort of run through. We've got a good audience now. We're going to run through some images. Now, when I think SEO, I'm going to take a step back and what are the things in SEO that would be compelling to me, right? Well, we know that these are automotive companies and that they're already paying for leads today. So I'm probably going to, I think the main benefit for them is that they can receive leads without having to pay for them, right? They'll pay, obviously they'll pay Vlad to get SEO set up on their site, but that will generate organic leads and they don't have to pay per lead, which is kind of nice. So I'm just going to go to unsplash.com, which is a great website for finding just really nicely shot photos. And I'm going to search for lead. I did some pre-planning for this video. So I already have lead up here. That picture is a little too salacious. Let's keep going. See if you can find a really good one. I like this one here. So let's download. So this is let's get that picture up. So let's take a look at this big screen. Yeah, this is exactly, this is emotional to me. There are, dogs heading towards the horizon. So customers heading towards you. I like it. If your particular product has some good imagery with it, one of our favorite companies, I like to mention them a lot actually because I just love their postcard, is Imperfect Produce. So they've got just this, I love this image, ugly produce delivered. They've just got some gnarly looking strawberries, some carrots with like other carrots growing out of them. So their product lends itself well to great photography, but don't have to worry about that if you don't have a product that, Scout is, how do I talk about postcards, right? Well, I do it in videos. And this actually is going to work really well, I think, for SEO. So we've got an image here. I've got a program called Image Optim that it just makes photos much smaller from Unsplash because they're just huge and you don't really need that type of resolution. So Image Optim will just shrink down your photos and you can't even tell the difference here. I'm going to do that. So now let's pop over. So we've got an image. Let's pop over to Scout Studio and just create a campaign here. One of the key things you're going to spend a lot of time on is your headline. Think about what really is going to be a compelling benefit for your customers. So many marketers will think about features, right? And they'll say, well, we do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's not about features, it's about the benefit to the customers. So let's type in the campaign here. We want SEO project. do a 6x11, start designing. Great, we got this nice big canvas. Just gonna go ahead and add media here and drop in an image. Make this image nice and big. Great, so you got a nice clear image. Now I added some text here. Let's do your customers should come to you. That's a little bit long-winded, you know. Maybe we can do a little bit better than that. Let's see, you have to really think carefully too about what you want your message to be. You want to make sure it sort of will stand you out from, you know, from the pack, if you will. Get customers. Have customers find you. Have customers find you. Maybe your customers should find you. That's probably okay. If I were Vlad, I would probably spend a little bit. I wrote this, but if I were Vlad, I would take this as a draft and then maybe refine it. You generally want 3 to 4 big keywords that are going to make the difference. So let's pick a nice font here. Let's just increase the size. All right, let's do. Oh, shout out to Vlad too for allowing me to use his company as a guinea pig here for this video. Logic Inbound, LOGICINBOUND.com. Feel free to check it out. Your customers should find you. All right, we've got a good tagline here. It's looking kind of nice with the image, sort of focusing on the horizon. Now the point of the front of the card is to really draw them in, get someone to pay attention. They're going to read on the next half of the card. I think that one of the things that I noticed that I really like about what Vlad was doing is he does a video. One of the benefits, he'll actually do an SEO video for your company. So you can fill out a form and he'll look at your website and tell you sort of what you could be doing better, totally for free, which I really liked. And I think that that's a big benefit that a lot of SEO companies won't do. So let's talk about that. Now, not to toot my own horn, a lot of printer shops can do this, but we can insert unique variables for every single card. So I'm going to go ahead and use that to our advantage here and say first. So I can say hi first. So it'll say, if the postcard is going to be, say hi Jordan. I'm Vlad. Now, in some cases, you'll want to, we've got a whole over 50 examples of postcards that you can just peruse through, with benefits that are like much more marketing-y. But because this is sort of a consulting company, I'm going to write just sort of more of a personal note instead of say, here are our 3 benefits. You should sign up. We're a big corporation, right? One of the benefits of working with Vlad is that they're a consulting agency. So I'm Vlad. I run Logic Inbound. So I actually made a good mistake here that that's really easy for me to make, and maybe you make it too. I started talking about Vlad, which in this case is, me in this scenario. Instead of that, you really need to focus in on your customer. So let's go ahead and take another crack at this. I noticed that you were running paid Google and Facebook ads. Remember, focus on the customer for company. So I'm just going to put in a variable here for company, which we'll inject with the list here. I'd love to show you how you can optimize. I guess I should probably spell optimize correctly. Optimize your organic growth on Google. If you'd like, I'm happy to put together a free video for to look at your site's SEO score. SEO score. So if you like, I'm happy to look at your site's SEO score. I can only provide this until June 22nd, 2017, as my business is picking up. As my business, that's fine. So it's really important to have an expiration date on your offer. So you want people to act. And so even if you don't have to technically expire the offer, but it's really important to write that in. I can only provide here is a personalized link for you. Here's a personalized link for you. Or you can call me. So as part of what we do here at Scout is we have, let me finish this up here. Yeah, so we actually can put a forwarding number in for the entire campaign. You could use a Google Voice number if you had your own printer, for example. And the nice thing about that is you can track exactly who came into the top of funnel. So maybe you weren't available, or you want to look at the overall results of the campaign. If you have a forwarding number, you can see all that in one place, which is sort of nice. So I'm going to put a variable here for that, and then say thanks, Vlad. Now I'm going to put a big old button here. I guess it's on a postcard. It's not really a button, but big old call to action, if you will. So I like a call to action that's like green. So free SEO video. Free SEO video, yeah. One thing that we don't talk about here is that Vlad is like in Seattle, but he's based in the US. I get a lot of SEO offers from overseas, so let's actually make it a little bit more background about Vlad. So PS, I run a small 6-person SEO company. Let's get this call to action. SEO company in Seattle. So we're dedicated to your success on the web. We're US based. We're all in the US and dedicated to your success on the web. Great. So just a little personal note here from Vlad. Maybe let's change the text to look a little bit more handwritten. That's hard to read. Oh, Lato's it. I like Lato. I love how this font is called Lobster. I don't know why that's called Lobster. Ooh, that's really hard to read. That's difficult. You can tell that I am not the designer here at Scout. This is I like Railway. All right, so let's go with Railway. Let's make this free SEO video. Let's make this gigantic. I'm having a little bit too much fun today. Let's take that down a little bit. Free SEO video. Great. And let's, one thing we didn't include is a link here. So let's make this a little smaller and then put a big old link. We want to make it easy for folks to find the link. You should think about the age of your customers too. Older customers are going to have trouble reading super small print. So that's an important thing to consider. Let's actually go ahead and add tracking. Let's add a web URL. So we do forwarding URLs at Scout. Let's grab the logic inbound. And so we've got a forwarding URL. So actually this URL would be generated uniquely to every card. So you would be able to see exactly who came top of funnel. You can do this yourself if you just use like bit.ly or goog.le. It's Google's link. It's just search for Google URL short and you should be able to find it. And at the very least, you should have a single tracking link for the entire campaign. We go a little bit further with that, but you can easily do that yourself if you are interested in just tracking the entire campaign, which we really suggest you do. It doesn't cost you anything. Great. So now we've got a personal note here from Vlad. We've got some variables to make sure that it's personalized. We know who we're targeting. And actually, because we're targeting auto industries, we can actually include that here in the message, which is nice. We've got a front of the postcard that is probably going to get the person in. That's the whole goal of the front of your postcard, most times, to read further, right? You want an image that stands out and a headline that is really about the benefit that you can provide them. So now we've created a postcard campaign in, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We have a good understanding of how many people we're sending. We found about 700 leads. We're going to send those people 3 times over the course of the month. We've got a postcard design that took, sort of almost no time at all. I'm going to take a little preview of this here. And yeah, so just to reiterate what we did, we had a conversation with Vlad. So you'll want to think about this on your own or chat with your marketing department and figure out exactly who your audience is, right? Really important to narrow that down as finely as possible. In this case, we looked at folks who were VPs of marketing, heads of their departments, we're in the auto industry, we're using Facebook and Google ad tracking, which means they probably have a marketing budget. We found about 700 people. We went to unsplash.com once we found that out to find like a really good image. And then in this case, I logged into Scout Studio and designed a postcard, but you could easily just do this yourself in Illustrator. We've got some free templates for you on the Postcard Pros Facebook group. We've got a key message, right? So we found an image. We've got a key message here that will drive traffic. And because this is more of a personalized approach and Vlad is an agency as opposed to maybe like a Verizon sending a card, we put in a personal note from Vlad to the card so that they know that it's from him. They can contact him. They're not going to chat with some call center or something like that. So there you go. We just went through the entire process of creating a postcard campaign in shorter time than it takes for you to have a long coffee break with your coworker. Hopefully this is helpful to you. If you have any questions, please add them in the video below. Throw them on the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/postcardpros. Would love to do this for your company too, totally for free. If you just send me a link to what you're working on and who you're targeting, and I'll run through an example, and hopefully that will be helpful to you, whether you're just doing regular marketing or you're doing postcard marketing. Thanks again for watching, and look forward to chatting soon. Bye.